Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here, Niraj. So I've not yet introduced you to our audience out here because I thought you should be the right person to talk about your passion and what you've been doing. So
Sure.
welcome and please take over the stage.
Sure. Hi everyone. Really nice to be here. It's quite a long time coming actually. I was just thinking about it. It was 10 years ago that I'd done the Talerang program. In fact, it was the first Talerang program that had launched. So some really good fond memories. After I graduated St. Xavier's College, I joined management consulting with Bain and Company. Spent almost 4 years there, learned all my sort of initial tools of how to work in a workplace, learned and unlearned a lot of things, which was really nice. Worked on different kinds of cases. I think, as most consulting goes, it's very generalist. But post that, I kind of came back to Mumbai and I wanted to really always build something of my own. So wanted to try building something of my own. However, this was around COVID, and it didn't feel like the right time. So I picked up a job in the development space with Clinton Health Access Initiative, and I was based in Southeast Asia and Laos, and that was an incredible experience. Got to live, abroad for the first time. It was a slightly, it was a different country and a different space where typically people don't go. So learned a lot on the ground. And it was the healthcare space, so it was also very, very, grounding because you get to see and really experience things that people face around the world. So that was really nice. And I like that sort of little bug in my head of always wanted to do something of my own was always there. So still made my way back to India after that because I had an opportunity with a couple of friends to co-found my own company, and it's called Creo. It's in the consumer electronics and gaming for gamers and content creators kind of space. So all kinds of like ring lights and like your gaming keyboards and mice and those kind of
Amazing,
equipment.
amazing.
Yeah, so that was quite interesting. And we sort of, built the brand, laid the sort of initial founding bricks, and it was super, super fun. And in fact, the company is doing really well. I decided, though, for myself that somewhere that whole learning that I had got from Chai and the development sector, that I somewhat wanted to bring this whole entrepreneurial mindset that I'd achieved now to the impact space. And that's kind of where I'm found myself in my current role with Global Development Incubator. So it's an interesting space, learning every day. Every day is like a fresh kind of thing, which personally I enjoy. I don't really enjoy structure as much. I thrive in chaos, so for me it works. It's quite interesting mixing impact and entrepreneurship. So that's where I am right now. Over to you.
All
I
right,
hope
that's
that
great.
sort of
That's great.
helps
Lovely,
your
amazing.
yeah.
No, in fact, Neeraj, I was going through your bio, and I myself have worked in a social impact
Oh,
space.
I mean,
So your
sick.
passion definitely resonated with mine, and I was really impressed with the kind of background you come with, and being an entrepreneur. So I think that's a lot of feathers in your hat. So congratulations for that. Right. Any favorite childhood memory you would like to talk about?
Ah, damn. That's a tough one. I think everything, just the first thing that came to my mind was travel. So it's always about like going on these long road trips with my family when I was
Nice.
like 3 or 4 years old. Travel, like a bunch of travel memories all the time. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
My next question is last book you read recently.
I think, I think I last reread the Almanac of Naval
Ah,
Ravikant. I've read it a
ah,
few times, but it's always nice to like go back and pick up on a few tidbits.
yeah.
It's probably the most cliched book out there, but that's the thing I read last. So yeah,
All
that's cool.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
My next question is what keeps you motivated?
I think different things in different parts of my life. I think when I'm with friends, I really love meeting new people, making connections, and just being in that moment at that time. But I think if you ask me like professionally, it's a little bit about doing something that's larger than myself. I think that's what always keeps me going. Like,
Yeah.
if it's something which I feel like is very narrow focused, it doesn't keep me very
Okay.
excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. My next question. What's your go-to productivity hack?
Ooh. I think so. One thing is I thrive in deadlines, which also means sometimes that you need deadlines, right? Like
Yeah,
if
yeah.
it's a 2 month long thing, I'm not gonna work on it. So for me, it's a little bit like I set artificial deadlines where I can, make sure other people know about them, so that
I
then I
totally
kind of
resonate
have
with
that.
that one. Yeah, I also
Yeah,
perform better with deadlines. I think that's like
absolutely.
sometimes a kick,
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah. Exactly. I think it's a little bit of a kick thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
I think you're faring well. This is my last question.
Let's
What's
go.
the best advice you've ever got?
Best advice I ever got. Yeah, I think I don't know who gave it to me, or maybe it's an amalgamation of a lot of different people. But one thing that I keep hearing and I really believe in now is keep doing things even if you fail. I don't think that matters. Like the outcome is not as important as just doing something and just being there. I think that's what counts. Just trying your best, and then if it doesn't work, be okay with that. But like move on. But yeah, experiment always. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Neeraj. I think you performed really well and you were really quick. Generally, when I do the rapid fire round, people do share, but it's not that quick. So I would definitely give you brownie points for that. Okay.
Thank you so much.
A few more questions for our audience,
Sure.
and especially, there are a lot of students who must be watching, and we'll be also posting the video. So just wanted, for them to learn through your experience.
Okay.
So to begin with, especially the one who are looking to build their career in social impact space. So
Mhm.
I would like to understand that what motivated you or drive you to, build this career or your passion towards social impact. Is there a story behind it? We would definitely like to know.
Yeah, I think I think it's something that was built over time. Definitely, the place where I went to college, Xavier's, was very instrumental in building this because I think in college we used to have, like, for example, like this social involvement
Yeah.
program, which I don't know if other colleges have it yet, but back then that was the only place which had it. Like, we had like a 60-hour thing to do all year, right? And I found that really cool. I'm not saying that that was the only reason, but just these kind of small nudges that happened throughout the 5 years really helped. Build that sort of idea in that you got to do something that can help a lot of people. And I think just growing in India, as long as you keep your eyes and ears open, you will see one opportunity. You will see people that are really willing to go the extra mile and do really cool things, as long as you can use your access and your network to help them out, right? So I think it's a little bit of like just we are in this like
Yeah.
amazing thriving melting pot, got to do something for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think this is the first age where I feel personally, because of media and stuff, that a lot of like issues like climate change, etc., are coming to the fore. So I genuinely feel that in the next few years, like that might be as lucrative and a career opportunity, not just in terms of money, but even in terms of rich
Yeah.
experiences for everyone to pursue. So I think that's quite interesting. Like I see that change having happened in the last now almost 10 years that I've been working. I do see that shift, and I think it's going to happen even more and more with
Okay.
the rise of all these problems. Yeah.
Okay. Neeraj, next question is one key takeaway lesson from your time at Bain.
Right. I think in Bain, one thing I personally really learned a lot is structuring a problem. Like there's a lot. So one thing is like when you have that researcher mindset, which I think in college a lot of us do tend to have, you try to boil the ocean, learn everything there is, and try to get to the bottom of everything. And that's not always possible. What I really found, the sort of frameworks that you can apply to synthesize or break
Yeah.
down a big problem into smaller chunks, or just keep yourself focused on the most important thing. I found that time and time again, just bringing that mindset, and it doesn't need to be something big, right? It doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm breaking down this massive Excel, or I am going to like create this massive presentation. It doesn't. It can even be in small meetings, right? Like when a lot of people are saying a lot of different things, you can just break it down and be like, oh, like just to step back and structure it a little bit. I think that just gives immense power to just being able to
Yeah.
facilitate that conversation better, to take things towards completion better. And also, I mean, at some level, you also
Yeah.
get to sound smart while you're at it.
Yeah.
So I think that helps.
Great
Yeah.
question to you, Niraj. You've been an integral part of Talerang, and you know what Talerang does. I would like you to give one tip to the Gen Z out here who is about to enter the workforce. One tip on career readiness, like what is your take? What they should do to land that dream job or like succeed in their career or kickstart their career, whatever they're looking at. What is your advice for them?
Yeah, that's a tough. I don't know if I'm yet someone who should be giving advice, but since you're asking me, I will try my best anyway. So I think one thing that really always helped me is knowing what I want in that moment. Like, there's no point, especially in the world we're in today with the media age, the
Yeah.
creator age, all of that, creator economy. I mean, last two years ago, the world was not what it is today, and I think that pace is rapidly evolving, like with
Yes.
AI and with that, right? So I think it's important for you to take stock of where you are today, really make the best of that. If today AI is something you want to learn, please go ahead, do it. Learn things that interest you, especially if you're young. Just do those experiments. I think it is really underrated what a large amount of experiment time, even all the way through till your 30s, can really do for you. I've seen a lot of people who initially you're like, what are they doing, right? After college, it seems like they're meandering through the nothingness. But then somewhere those connections start clicking. And I think personally for me, that's always been the case where over time things have always made sense, even if at that moment they're not. So yeah, I think two things will be: keep trying new things, keep experimenting, and doing things that really interest you. Don't do them because someone else is asking you to do them. And really, there is no pre-laid path anymore. It is what you make of it. And yeah, I think the second biggest thing is kind of just not taking yourself so seriously that you can't, like, oh my God, I made this decision 5 years ago. Like, I cannot do this anymore. Like, I need to do this. Those kind of things. I think it's very okay to step back and say, you know what, this didn't work out. Let's do the next thing.
Next thing.
And yeah, I see that like a lot of people are afraid of that. But yeah, I think that it is sort of. I feel like the next generation is a very like entrepreneurial generation.
Yeah.
Having met a few incredible people, like they're thinking about things that like I can't even imagine at 30, right? When they're like 16 or something. So yeah, I think it's really cool to see that. And I don't think any AI is going to replace them anytime soon. So yeah,
Agree.
it's
Totally
okay.
agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Amazing. Totally agree and resonate with whatever you said. That's great. Thank you so much for being a part of
Thanks.
this chit chat session. It was amazing to have you. And also, I hope the audience would love the ones who joined in, and we'll be also posting the videos. So they would love to hear about your experience, how you, crafted your journey, professional journey. And definitely, if they can take a point or two from this conversation, it'll be really helpful. Thank you so much, Niraj. And it was lovely to have you, and wishing you a great weekend ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. No, this was really fun. I'm feeling energized too. So thanks for having me. And yeah, always happy to give back. So it's really nice to be here. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Bye bye, Niraj.
Bye. Bye,
Bye bye.
everyone.
Bye.